لكن تحديت الظروف وخضتها وحدي صبورا مستعينا بالصلاة. كم مرة عصف الأنين بداخلي، كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أسى محن تمر، وكم كرهت مصابها.
There's a YouTube channel called Knowledge North. I think the brother's name is Abdurrahman, and he's obviously of that same persuasion. He's obviously a quote-unquote Salafi slash Wahhabi slash Najdi. And what he's going to explain in this video is about a brother who was well learned, okay, a revert brother, studied in Medina, and then all of a sudden, dramatically, something happened in his life where he turned a new chapter. But what I'm going to show you is he just went back to the root. Have a watch.
Which brings me on to Sheikh Imran Latvi, Oleg Petrov.
В Коране также сказано, что тот, кто убил человека несправедливо, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَاتَلَ النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا.
He was the Imam of the Muslims of Latvia, charismatic, learned, a graduate from Medina's Islamic University, and local. Here he is appearing on national television. Being an ethnic Latvian convert, as was his wife and members of their extended family, he was the relatable, reasonable, qualified, well-spoken face of indigenous Islam in his country. Alas, here he is again in a Daesh propaganda video.
На самом деле, единственное наказание за издевательство над любыми исламскими ценностями является смертная казнь. И в этом не разногласит никто из мусульман.
He went from being a poster boy of Sunni Islam in Europe with no history of extremism to being a recruiting sergeant for the most egregious example of extremism in our time, the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and Sham.
So you heard, okay? So you were saying he joined Daesh, etc. Now look, my brother, the truth here is he just went back to the original roots. He is following his true principles, unlike you. Because you're following a diluted plastic version. Let's be honest. So when we say the early Da'watun Najdiyya, when we say Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, and you can go to Takfiri Tendencies Part 3, why are you alarmed or why are you shocked that that brother went and joined ISIS? Why are you surprised? Because he is going back to the original Dawah. He is going back to the original roots. You, on the other hand, and your likes, are following a diluted, bogus version. Takfiriyun, absolute bloodthirsty monsters, as I explained in Takfiri Tendencies Part 3. Part 4 is coming soon as well. Got another one coming after this, I think, I'll put the thumbnail, what's it called? I forgot what it's called, but you can see the thumbnail. So, I'm going to keep you guys busy. You know why I'm consistently recording about this matter? Because this cognitive dissonance that we're finding from you, and your likes, Mentally Drenched Freak and others, Abdurrahman Hassan, Da'man Shamsi, all of them, these videos are going to show and leave no doubt, because it's so much evidence. I can't fit it on one video, otherwise I'll be here for hours, and I can't. I've got responsibilities. You understand? So let's be sincere, my brother Abdurrahman, or I think the name Abdurrahman, Knowledge North. Let's be sincere that any takfiri, extremist, radical that joins Dawa'ish or joins any mutatarrifun, they are only staying true to the principles of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. So please stop this hypocrisy, stop this double standards. Peshawar, Kunduz, Jalalabad, Iraq, Syria, all these indiscriminate attacks, all these bomb attacks, all these mosque attacks, all these attacks on innocent civilians, they are following, all of these extremist groups are following Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. So when are we going to hear you admit that Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab is a takfiri and a radical and an extremist? When are we going to hear that? Refute the takfiriyun all day long, because you're indirectly refuting Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. Okay? And if you want to justify it, then you become classic takfiris. Oh no, and then you bring those kalam of the Salaf, those general kalam from the Salaf. Don't worry about it, we're going to deal with that as well. We're going to deal with that as well, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in another video. Now we've got this pseudo-Salafi, plastic Najdi, trying to defend the Holy Grail, defend the patron, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. And what's funny is this, he's calling me Dio Bandit, where I've declared multiple times that I'm not a Dio Bandit, but that's fine. He can call me what he wants, but he wants to hide behind the camera, he wants to cower behind the camera, doesn't want to show his face, and wants to hurl insults. That's fine, cower away, we don't expect nothing less. But anyway, look, as I already highlighted, and I will continue to do so, that Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab and his bandits are the forefathers of extremism and radicalism, and i.e. Al-Ikhwan before ISIS, etc., and any extremist group that follows these Najdi principles and that have these sort of takfiri tendencies and the extremism which oozes from them, then they're following the original source and root.
حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيم.
Now, as you just watched, he's bringing contemporary names, okay, as you saw. And what's funny is he never noted or listed any of the bandits that slaughtered Mecca, slaughtered the people of Medina, slaughtered at Ta'if, slaughtered at Ahsa, and the students of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, like his son Abdullah, like Hamd bin Atiq, like Abdul Latif, Ali Sheikh, and all the bandits that we've mentioned from the early Da'watul Najdiyah. He never put one of them in that list. Yeah, contemporary, no problem. We'll say they got takfiri tendencies, but they are following on from the root of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. He's the source. All of those names you mentioned, and included me in it, and he included other brothers in there. Why have you left off the early Da'watul Najdiyah? And you're saying it's a smokescreen? Honestly, this is what it is. They are following a heretical version. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab would be against you if he was alive today. And if Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab was alive today, you know it and I know it, he'd be leading ISIS. He'd be leading ISIS. And if he was around in the 20s or the 30s, he'd be leading Al-Ikhwan, who slaughtered the people of Ta'if, who slaughtered the Hujjaj of Yemen more than once. So, we'll wait for your video. I'll see if you keep up with me. You are a plastic Najdi. Okay, a plastic Najdi. And what you follow, it was due to the political winds. Certain events that happened in our contemporary times shifted the goalpost for your version, a heretical version. So that's fine. Call me a dear bandit, hide behind the camera. Okay, hide behind the camera. What's laughable in comedy is that he doesn't include one of the bandits from the early Da'watul Najdiyah, from the scholars and the leaders. He doesn't include Abdullah Aziz bin Muhammad bin Saud, who was slaughtering people that allegedly committed apostasy after 6 months, where they sent their own, as you can see on screen, where they sent their own scholar to teach them the ahkam and the tawheed. 6 months later, they apparently apostated and they went and slaughtered them and demanded fines to be paid. He didn't include Abdullah Aziz bin Muhammad bin Saud. It doesn't include Saud bin Abdul Aziz bin Muhammad bin Saud, as you can see on screen, that mentioned that all of the people of Mecca and what was happening in Ta'if and other areas across the Muslim world, as you can see on screen, it's apostasy, shirk and kufr, and we could slaughter them and take their property and their wealth. Conveniently, you missed that. Saud bin Abdul Aziz bin Muhammad bin Saud wasn't included, right? Hamd bin Atiq wasn't included. Abdullah ibn Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab wasn't included. All Ibn Ghannam wasn't included. Ibn Bish wasn't included. But yeah, you want to fast forward, I want to blame the takfiris and then call it a smokescreen, where they're indeed following on from the true takfiris and the bandits and extremists, which is Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. So we'll see. Wait for this is just an extract, by the way. I've got more videos. I'll defend the patron saint, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, defend the takfiri bandits of the early Da'watul Najdiyah, and call it a smokescreen, and use contemporary takfiris, we could call them takfiris, those who had takfiri tendencies, but avoid the early Da'watul Najdiyah. You're a laughing stock, you coward.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني تمر ساعة